Hey guys, it's yeah, it's SOTK Burn. No, it's not. It's not that anymore. Remember, it's Goy Jr. back with another very cool video. So my last video, I did the review of the Falcons man ratings, which really just turned into a rant about the Falcons team. So I decided, yeah, I need to start doing more Falcons videos. So today we're doing a schedule prediction. So don't be mad. Okay, other fans, don't get mad if, first of all, we have the easiest schedule in the league, and we're not that bad. Those are two things we're going to say. And to the Falcons fans, don't get mad if I don't have us going 15-2, winning the Super Bowl. Because I know some Falcons fans are absolutely crazy. But, yeah, I hope you guys like it. And let's get into week one. So, Falcons, Panthers. Now let me tell you about the Panthers. Their team is trash. They lost their best receiver and got Adam Thielen back. The receivers aren't very good. Their offensive line isn't too bad, but they have the rookie Bryce Young at QB, which I think could be interesting. We don't usually do too terrible against rookie quarterbacks. Bryce Young is really good. Their running backs consist of Miles Sanders and Chuba Hubbard, I think. I can just go to. Would it be more interesting if I just Madden? No, Madden ratings. I feel like this would be the best way for me because I'll be able to see their best players. So yeah. Oh, this is a little weird. Why does it look so much different? So launching. Oh, so you can search by team and position. This is weird. I'm gonna have to check this out later. But yeah, the best players: Brian Burns, Miles Sanders, Derek Brown, Shaq Thompson, Taylor Morton, and some other players you can see here. So I would say their team is one of the worst in the league. I don't think they improved very much during this offseason. In this first game, I have us winning 27-13 in a 14-point win. Now, you might think this is a little bit too much, and a lot of the games we win are close. But I just think the Panthers are going to be way worse than they were even last year. So, yeah, this is the worst division in the league, so not much else to say. Next is Week 2 versus the Green Bay Packers. And they are in the NFC North. So, the Green Bay Packers have Jair Alexander, David Bakhtiari, Aaron Jones, Rashawn Gary, Elgton Jenkins, Kenny Clark, Devontae Campbell, who's a former Falcon, Rasul Douglas, A.J. Dillon, Quay Walker. So this team is a little bit different. They were okay last year, even with having Aaron Rodgers. They weren't that great. It's mostly because they lost Devontae Adams. As you can see here, there's no receivers in their top players. They do have two pretty good running backs in A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, though. This will be an interesting game. We face them every other year or so. And I do always like going against the Packers. I don't know. I always think it's an interesting game. We will not have to deal with Aaron Rodgers. Instead, we have to deal with Jordan Love at QB with no receiving weapons, which is another reason why I give the Falcons another win. We usually do way better against defensive teams than offensive teams. And I gave us the win here 20-17, which will give us our season a start of 2-0. But next, we got on the road up against the Detroit Lions, another NFC North team. And as you can see, their team has improved a lot over the last 3 or so years. The top players are Frank Ragnow, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Taylor Decker, David Montgomery, Aiden Hutchinson, Jared Goff, Jameson Williams, who's suspended, and Marvin Jones. So, as you saw there, a lot of offensive talent, especially from the offensive line. Really from the offensive line. You got the pretty good running back in David Montgomery and Jared Goff. But Jameson Williams will be suspended, I'm pretty sure, and he will not be playing. I still have the Lions winning the shootout 30-38. I think we are going to lose some games here, and the Lions are pretty good. And we don't do too great on the road either, so yeah, can't win them all. I've seen some Falcons that say we're going to start 5-0, which is insane. Next game is against the the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. Last time we were in London, we defeated the Jets, I think. But this time we're going up against the Jags. What? Oh, so that's the Lions players. NFC North. Oh, no, it doesn't. Anyway, they have Calvin Ridley, who's a former Falcon, Christian Kirk, Josh Allen, Tyson Campbell, Evan Ingram, Foye Oluokun, who's another former Falcon, Travis Etienne, Brandon Scherff, Trevor Lawrence, and Logan Cook. Another team with pretty versatile players: Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Travis Etienne. A lot of players that could line up in different parts of the field. And only a couple of players are even. Like, only Etienne was originally a Jaguar from those players I just listed. But yeah, not a crazy good team, but also a team that people think could shock people, along with Trevor Lawrence. But I do have us going 2-0 in London games, beating them 26-20. And that brings us to a 3-1 record as we go on to Week 5, which will be going against the Houston Texans, everyone's favorite team to bully. You can see we have a lot of players, games where we're going against the same division twice in a row, as we've already gone against the Packers and the Lions, then the Jags, then the Texans. They have Laramie Tunsil, Jimmy Ward, Shaq Mason, Damian Pierce, Dalton Schultz, Denzel Perryman, Devin Singletary, Desmond King, Kaimi Fairbairn, and Shaquille Griffin. Now, as you probably know, they were terrible last year. They ended up with a second pick. And if the Bears didn't somehow win their last game, they would have gotten the first pick. Now I think it's going to be maybe our biggest win of the season. The Texans are just going to be bad this year. They have not improved enough, and they have a rookie QB and the worst receiving core maybe ever. No, really, let's look at the wide receivers. So we already have it as the Texans, right? Yep, we have that as the Texans. Then when you go to position wide receiver and you apply, Robert Woods, John Mechie, Noah Brown, Nico Collins, a rookie Tank Dell, Amari Rogers, and those are pretty much the only players that are going to get any snaps. This is terrible. The Texans have nobody to throw to. I think our pretty good secondary, along with A.J. Terrell, Jesse Bates, and Jeffrey Okudah, and maybe even Clark Phillips too, will just tear through this receiver room. I think this will be a pretty easy win. So, yeah, I give us a 31-14 win, moving us up to 4-1. But then we have the Commanders, a team that we've struggled to beat pretty much every season that we've won against them recently. They are in the NFC East. No, click this side. Apply, and you will see. They have Jonathan Allen, Terry McLaurin, Kendall Fuller, Chase Young, Daron Payne, Cameron Curl, Charles Leno, Curtis Samuel, Derek Forrest, who I've actually never heard of before, and Montez Sweat. Now, this team is pretty interesting. Another team which I feel like they could make it to the wild card, but what's stopping them is probably maybe the best division in the league. I was remember people saying that the AFC West would be the best division, and only like 2 of them made it to the playoffs, and 1 of them lost in the first round. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest take for people, but I was on the Raiders train, but I was not on the Broncos train. Anyway, Commanders struggle with their division, having the Cowboys, Eagles, and Giants to compete with, which is not fun. Their team is filled with great defensive and offensive linemen. Even if you don't see many of the offensive linemen here, you only see Charles Leno. Before they lost Trent Williams, their offensive line was even better. But yeah, I don't think we're going to win. Usually, we do pretty well against great defensive teams, but the Commanders have had our number a lot. And if you know the Falcons, you know we don't really go on big winning streaks. So we will drop the game, losing 17-23, and move on to Week 7. We face off our first game against the Tom Brady-less Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Which, let me say something. People that are saying the Bucs are going to be the worst team in the division are tripping. They lost one player. One single player, and people think they're going to be worse than the Panthers. That's one of my hot takes. Even though I don't like the Bucs, I think they'll be the best team in this division this year. And I just don't understand how you have this defense and Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, and people are saying you're going to be worse than the Panthers, who have no receiver core, no defense. So, I don't know. Anyway, they have Tristan Wirfs, Levante David, Mike Evans, Vita Bea, Antoine Winfield, Ryan Jensen. Oh, did I mention their amazing offensive line? Chris Godwin, Jamel Dean, Carlton Davis, and Ryan Neal. Wow. I thought that was Keanu Neal for a second. But yeah, their defense is amazing. The Falcons, I think, are definitely not going to sweep them just because first of all, before Tom Brady was here, yeah, we were doing pretty good against them. But since then, while they had Tom Brady, Levante David became one of the best linebackers in the league. Devin White's not on the team, I don't think, but well, he is. I'm pretty sure he's still on the team. Even if he isn't, still one of the best linebackers in the league. Tristan Wirfs. Like, you see Tristan Wirfs, Ryan Jensen. Like, wait, hold up. Ryan Jensen's a center, and he's a left tackle. So, even though they don't have a good running game, I'm pretty sure their QB will really benefit. I'm pretty sure it's Baker Mayfield, from having a long time in the pocket, which he kind of had with the Browns. Definitely didn't have it with the Panthers. And then he has Mike Evans and Chris Godwin to throw to, along with a defense that's probably going to get them the ball in a lot of different situations. Yeah, I think the Bucs are still going to have like a 6 to 7 win season this year, maybe reaching 8 again, but I don't know. Anyway, I think they are going to beat us Week 7. I think we're not going to be prepared. We're going to be underrating them because apparently everyone in the league is about to. And the Bucs are going to take the game from us by 3. We don't put up many points. This will be our second game in a row where we only put up under 20 points as we move on to Week 8, which is on the road against the Titans. One of the interesting teams in the league. I like the Titans, though. As you see. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's reset first. AFC South. Yeah, we're facing the entire NFC South. We haven't been able to figure that out yet. They have Derrick Henry, the new DeAndre Hopkins, Kevin Byard, Jeffrey Simmons, Ryan Stonehouse, Danico Autry, Harold Landry, Amani Hooker, Sean Murphy Bunting, and Tierra Tart. A lot of defense. And as I told you before, I think we're going to be a better team against great offenses than against great defenses because we have a young, explosive team. And also, we have 3 of the best running backs in the league, so I'm not really scared of great secondaries, especially. Like, that's the thing I'm least scared of this season. We're going to be mostly throwing it to tight ends and running backs. I think cornerbacks aren't going to be doing too much. We're going to be attacking the linebackers and maybe some of the safeties as well. Which the Titans definitely don't have terrible safeties. But I think the lack of offense will hurt them a lot, especially against this young team that they're going up against. So I do think they will struggle to score, and we will win 24-20, bringing us up to the Minnesota Vikings, one of the better teams last year. They somehow lost early on in the playoffs against the New York Giants. Let's get to them. A lot of people are saying that season was a fluke. I don't know how getting like 14 wins or 13 wins is a fluke. I mean, I know like some of those wins should have been wins, Colts, but I still think they're going to be relatively good this year. They have Justin Jefferson, Harrison Smith, T.J. Hawkinson, Danielle Hunter, Brian O'Neill, Christian Darrisaw, Kirk Cousins, Byron Murphy's a Viking. I did not know that. Harrison Phillips and Jordan Hicks. The top three are some very different positions. We got, I guess tight end. I think tight end T.J. Hawkinson is one of the best tight ends in the league, of course. But then they have the best receiver in the league potentially, Justin Jefferson. I think he is the best receiver in the league, by the way. And they have old but good Harrison Smith. I think this is going to be a hard game for us to win, considering that if AJ plays anything like he did last year, Justin Jefferson is going to fry him. We're going to struggle. As I said, we're going to be attacking more linebackers and safeties. And they have, Jordan Hicks isn't too great, but they do have Harrison Smith and also Danielle Hunter. I think Cam McGarry should be able to handle him a little bit. But if he's on the other side, we have Jake Matthews, who's going to probably hold him a couple times. The offensive line is also pretty good. Christian Darrisaw is already 85 man, by the way. But yeah, the tackles are amazing, so Jared's going to have to make work do. But my prediction, they beat us by 10. And that'll bring us to Week 10 up against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, this is an interesting team. People are saying they're going to be the worst in the league. I'm still leaning towards the Texans, even with the injured. Not injured, but wait, is Kyler injured? I don't remember what happened to him. But yeah, he's not going to be playing. And as we look at their roster, we realize that they have Budda Baker, and then a 6th overall drop to Marquise Brown, Zach Ertz, Isaiah Simmons, Rondale Moore, DJ Humphries, Jalen Thompson, Kyler Murray, who won't be playing most likely, Matt Prater, and James Conner. Wait, actually, I can just search this up. Why am I making this complicated? Kyler Murray. What did he do? I forgot. Oh, yeah, the ACL tear. Well, he might make it to our game. Not sure, though. I don't think the outcome will change very much if he is or not. This team is just really bad. There's just not much to really look at. Just a decent offense filled with an inconsistent defense with literally no defensive linemen in their top players. And if you think, it's just overall, just go to the next list. You see, then there's Paris Johnson, still no defensive linemen. Yeah, this is not going to be a good season for them. This is going to be very hard for them. I think the Falcons are just going to beat up on them, especially against their terrible defense. I think, especially if we just separate, if we can distract Budda Baker with Kyle Pitts or even Drake London, then we'll just destroy them with checkdowns. And then by the time we blow them out, we'll just start running out the clock and win 34-20. Next is our bye week, which is week 11 this season. And by bye week, we have 6-4. We're 6-4 with wins against the Panthers, Packers, Jags, Texans, Titans, and Cardinals, and losses against the Lions, Commanders, Bucks, and Vikings. Let's go on to see if we can end the season strong. Week 12, we go against the Saints for the first time, and this will be an interesting game. I think the Saints are probably the most overrated team in our division. Maybe the Panthers, because people are saying that they have a chance, which I don't think they have a chance at all. Actually, no, I'm going to say Panthers are the most overrated team in our division, definitely. But Saints are definitely second place. Bucks and Falcons are underrated. I think Panthers and Saints are overrated. Let's look at their team. Tyrann Mathieu, Demario Davis, Marshawn Lattimore, Ryan Ramczyk, Cameron Jordan, Alvin Kamara, Jamal Williams, Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, and Marcus May. Also, you can tell how trash the Cardinals are because the Saints players are 83 and the Cardinals is a 78 or something. The last player on these lists. The Falcons are pretty low too, though. I just think our players are underrated. Yes, which is why it's like that. Not the Cardinals just being trash. But as you see, a lot of defense, 4 of their top 5 are defense. Think of Alvin Kamara, Jamal Williams, Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, and then Marcus May. I don't know how we got swept by them last year. It just shouldn't have happened, but we were bad last year. We had Marcus Mariota as our quarterback, and then a player who's played one game. No, his first game was against the Saints. And Drake London fumbled. Yada. Our team was just bad last year. But I think this game will be in our favor for the simple fact that their receivers aren't very good. Chris Olave is very good, but other than that, you have Michael Thomas, who might have a good game every 5 games. And then Alvin Kamara, who's also pretty inconsistent. Jamal Williams should probably score a touchdown on us, though. And then their quarterback situation, Derek Carr, he's okay. Their offense is okay. Their defense is pretty good, too. But if I have to choose an offense to have, I would go with the Falcons. I'm not choosing Olave and Kamara over Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Cordell Patterson. I think our offense will embarrass the Saints, especially considering that a lot of their best players are aging. Matthew, Davis, Jordan, even Ryan Ramczyk. I think this is a fresh, young offense going against the old, deteriorating defense, and I think it's going to be pretty obvious during the game. And we will destroy them 28-10 right off the bye week on a hot start. But then the New York Jets, which are people are saying will end up being one of the best teams this season. Them and the Lions are basically they're underrated teams. Pretty much every single YouTube short says most underrated teams for 2023 season. Always the Lions and the Jets. Maybe the Browns too. Probably the Panthers as well. But the Lions and the Jets are better than both of those teams. They are in the AFC East. Apply. And then we see Quentin Williams, Sauce Gardner, Aaron Rodgers, C.J. Mosley, Garrett Wilson, Adrian Amos, DJ Reed Jr., John Franklin Myers, Breece Hall, and Carl Lawson. Okay, let's start with the top. 3 of their 5 are defense, and then a quarterback and a wide receiver. And Rodgers is going to have a good season this year. He has young receivers to work with. Christian Watson's okay, but my Rodgers is bad. Randall Cobb isn't very good. I think he just has more to work with here. His defense should also be around the same, maybe a little bit better than the Packers. Sauce Gardner's going to probably make it very hard to throw to our receivers. C.J. Mosley is going to make it hard to throw to Kyle Pitts. But as long as Drew Dahlman and Lindstrom, whoever's blocking Kevin Williams, can stop him, I think this game will be close. But I think the offensive power of the Jets will make it a little bit harder for us. Garrett Wilson will probably tear through the safeties, unless it's Jesse Bates. Because Richie Grant's a good corner safety, but I feel like if it was a jump ball situation, I would not want him anywhere near Garrett Wilson. I think we will lose this one 24-31. And now it's week 4.